What is up, heroes of Dominion? My name is Charlie. This is Hero Wars Central, and in today's video, I'm going to show you my results from the top 5 OSH teams that I am building. Maybe not the top 5 in the history of Hero Wars Facebook and web, but at least based on my community's help, the 5 teams that I'm going to be using to fight the OSH fight every single week going forward until something, of course, changes. This video right here that I have on screen was the video breaking down the 5 various teams. I'm going to link that in the description box down below. Go check that out if you haven't already. But in today's video, I'm actually going to show you the damage output and the fights themselves and discuss why the teams work well together. I talk about some changes that I'm going to make for next week. And if you wait until the very end of the video, you're going to see the newest winner of the Hero Wars Central Sweepstakes. Today's winner is going to win either 3 portal charges and plus a bunch of other stuff, or 30 artifact keys plus a bunch of other stuff. All you have to do to enter for a chance to win this sweepstakes is be a Facebook and web player and leave comments on my Facebook and web specific videos. We're going to be pulling comments from this video in particular for today's giveaway, and this video that I'm showing you right here is going to be probably another sweepstakes giveaway, so keep that in mind. We do give away stuff multiple times per week. If you want to see who wins, you're going to have to wait till the end of the video. I love you all. Good luck in Dominion.
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
I want to talk about the OSH fights a little bit. I think it's very interesting, the interaction that some of these teams have. So I thought that maybe we could take a look at it. I was able to get 58 million, which is not my best, but that's okay. That's okay. And I do want to point out a couple of interesting lineups. First of all, the Kark team that I believe, Richard, that you shared with me, did extremely well. 7.5 million damage. Did extremely well. A lot of this team has to do with the fact that Kark is able to very easily destroy the defensive spheres. You know, on top of the damage output that Celeste is doing. And I'll be perfectly honest with you guys, I fought this on auto mode, so I probably could have gotten better damage had I, you know, kept Celeste into her darkness form, maybe. Maybe if I didn't copy Celeste there with Faceless and copied Kark instead, or maybe copied Yasmin. I don't really know. I don't know what the best strategy here was. But I do find it interesting that I was able to get so much damage with this. And in fact, with this team being able to do like, you know, 7 million damage, and my main team able to do basically 50 million damage, I think I'm doing pretty well with this, you know, these 2 lineups. Used Warman's Aurora, Kira, ODH got almost 2 mil for not a very built up team. That's awesome. That's really awesome. Speaking of that team, the ODH team, I tried it with Rufus and Judge. And you can see up here, I kept Aurora in this second lineup. What I wanted to do is I want to use Aurora in this lineup this week. And the next week, we're going to use Rufus in this lineup and Aurora in the ODH Judge lineup. I'm going to check it out. But I want to show you guys this lineup. It didn't do as well as some of the other ones, but I have a really, really low level Orion and a really low level Judge and Rufus. I feel like if my Judge was higher, I'd be able to clear these spheres out much quicker. You see, he did that area of effect hit and he didn't do that much damage. So if my Judge were stronger, this team up would be pretty amazing. Again, I'm not 100% certain that Judge is the way to go. Kira could work very well. Have you tried removing Martha from the LOL OSH team? Jiv, I'll try it next week. How about that? We'll try it. If you can remind me, I'll try it next week, and we'll compare. Because I did screenshot the, you know, all the information from this week. So you can see Rufus is staying alive just fine. But I'm not having an easy time clearing the defensive spheres. So then, showing off this fight, even with weak Phobos, this lineup did extremely well. Aurora is great in tanking as well as doing damage, clearing the defensive spheres. Aurora is a great choice for this team. And the Meteor Shower causes Phobos to ult quite a bit, which is what Jiv is referring to here as well. If your Judge was stronger, you'd have 500k subscribers too. Pat Fez. So I think this is a very strong lineup. And, you know, and again, I ran all of these this morning because I was recording for the video that I put out this morning, some B-roll for it. So I'm just kind of showing you how I did. You know, Phobos, I believe, was the first person to die, but Phobos is significantly weaker. I actually didn't even realize that I still have a 5-star Phobos. I could still work on, you know, getting a little bit more star power for Phobos here. But I do want to try Rufus in this lineup as I increase the damage output of Corvus. Since we know Rufus is able to stay alive, as I increase the damage of my Corvus and Phobos, who are both heroes that I'm going to be leveling up in the next year, you can see that I was able to do 3.4 million damage. Aurora was a big part of that damage output. A big part of it. Actually, it wasn't that big of a part at all. 373k compared to... Well, this Rufus only did about 100k damage. Very, very low damage from this lineup. But I think if I put Aurora in this lineup, the boost from the magic penetration and the boost from the all the magic attack here will greatly improve Aurora's output. And since I know that Rufus can survive, we're definitely going to try Rufus in this second team next week. And then this third team that Rank Dog gave me yesterday, and that I shared with you all yesterday, this one actually surprised me as well. I was concerned from the very beginning that Alvanor was going to die, but between his shield, which, you know, he's just got to survive until the first activation of his shield, and the crazy amount of healing that Maya and Thea provide. I mean, once Alvanor starts spamming his magic attack, boosting the magic attack of, you know, these other four, well, 3 mages plus Thea. Thea does do a little bit of damage. I like this lineup also. You know, it's definitely not going to be one that I can work on for a little while. There's not a lot of big priority heroes for me in this list. But you'll see that the Nightmares actually stick me and let all my magic attack buffs drop off, which, you know, delays a good amount of the damage that I do. There we go. So there's 2 Nightmares that spawn. Alvanor is taken out of the fight. Maya is taken out of the fight. And that leaves Kaya, Leon, and Thea. Now, fortunately, Alvanor's buff, his shield, is up, which allows these 3 heroes to kind of tank the Nightmares pretty effectively. Or maybe you know, it had something to do with some of the buffs that I had applied. A little bit higher level Kai would melt, you know, would definitely melt these 2 a lot faster. Same with Leon. But see how quickly Kai is, you know, spamming his ultimate. I fought this one on auto as well. Maya goes down, but I still have Thea as a healer, right? And once Alvanor gets free, and you can see we spent probably 30 seconds, 45 seconds with a good chunk of the team, you know, 40% of the team being swallowed up or being covered up by these Nightmares. If I had the Grove Keeper buff, or maybe another select, you know, 1 or 2 buffs to make this team better, this team would probably be very well as well. I think what a lot of people are dealing with at high levels is maybe having to deal with buff choices. But then again, I think that those people that start at the 150 have enough resources to buy all of the buffs. I'm not 100% sure. So you can see that lineup did 1.4, almost 1.5 million damage. All in all, good showing across the board. I think that with a little bit of tweaks here and there, like I said, swapping Rufus and Aurora, I think will help. But then again, how does that make the lineups look? So we have Cleaver, Corvus, Morrigan, Phobos, and Rufus. So this is my concern, is that Rufus is behind. So I'm actually not sure how well this is going to work. Maybe you... And I know I touched on this a little bit yesterday, but maybe you have to have Aurora in this lineup since Corvus and Cleaver stands in front of Rufus. That kind of sucks. But all in all, we'll just show the last fight real quick here. I think this is a nice little lineup, right? I think that these 5 teams are pretty strong, pretty effective overall. You know, there may be 1 or 2 teams that are better. Somebody mentioned a Kira Dante team yesterday. I apologize if you're here. I kind of missed it there. With 57 here, the choice pets for each hero, how many combinations are possible? No, I'm not doing that. It's not Monday. No math. Gary, this is 130. I'm not at 160 yet. How would that work using Galahad instead of Cleaver? I don't know that it would work better or worse. Galahad doesn't do as much area of effect damage just passively as Cleaver does. All of Galahad's damage, area of effect damage, is from his ultimate, which is a lot. But you would need to time his ultimate. I think in order to have him being useful against this fight, you would need to time his ultimate to kill the spheres. Whereas Cleaver's Putrefaction ability is up just the majority of the fight. So he's constantly doing area of effect pure damage.